You checked your bank balance twice tonight, though nothing had changed since the first time. The number sat there, unmoved, and still something in your chest didn't settle. Maybe it wasn't the number you were checking at all. Maybe some part of you was asking a different question, one that has nothing to do with money. Am I enough? Is this enough? Will it ever be enough? If you have felt that quiet, private math running under everything you do, even your prayers, even your good days, you are exactly where this video is for. There is a kind of poverty the old teachers of the heart spoke of, and it is not the one you are afraid of. It is the one you have been avoiding without knowing it. Stay with what follows, because by the end, the number on that screen is going to mean something completely different to you. Let's sit with the ache honestly, because it deserves that. You have prayed. You have tried to be good. You have counted your blessings on nights when counting them felt like lying to yourself, and still there is a small, persistent voice that says, "Not yet, not enough, keep going." It shows up when you compare your prayer to someone else's. It shows up when a friend's life looks fuller than yours. It shows up, strangely, even in moments of gratitude, as if gratitude itself has a ceiling you keep bumping against. This is not weakness. This is not a lack of faith. This is a very old wound, and the tradition you come from has a name for the thing underneath it. Though the name might surprise you, because it points not at what you're missing, but at what you're still holding. Here is the pivot, and I want you to hear it slowly. The ache you carry is not proof that you lack enough. It is proof that some part of you still believes you could, one day, become self-sufficient through effort, through achievement, through enough good deeds stacked high enough to finally feel secure. That belief, however quiet, however well-intentioned, is itself a kind of clinging. There is a poverty the tradition does not ask you to escape. It asks you to enter it. And once you understand what that poverty actually is, the ache you've been fighting starts to look less like a punishment and more like an invitation you never opened. Picture a woman standing at her kitchen counter at midnight, phone in hand, scrolling through a friend's vacation photos while her own tea goes cold beside her. She isn't jealous, not exactly. She just feels behind in life, behind in faith, behind in whatever silent race she never agreed to run. This is the shape the wound takes for so many of us. We call it ambition. We call it striving for excellence, even striving for Allah's pleasure. But underneath, sometimes, it is the same restless engine. Prove you deserve to be here, prove you're enough, and maybe then the ache will stop. The nafs, the restless, self-referring part of the soul, is remarkably clever. It can dress itself in religious clothing and still be chasing the same old thing. It will let you fast, let you pray at night, let you give in charity, and still whisper afterward, "Was that enough? Will anyone notice? Will Allah notice?" This is why some of the deepest scholars of the heart said the struggle with the self never truly ends. One of them wrote plainly that he had never faced anything harder to deal with than his own soul, helping him one moment, working against him the next. If a man who spent his life in devotion said that, you are not failing by struggling with the same thing. But there's a subtler layer beneath the striving, and it's worth naming without shame. Somewhere inside most of us is a hidden hope that we could become sufficient unto ourselves, spiritually self-made, emotionally self-contained, needing no one, not even God, quite so desperately. We don't say it that way. We say, "I just want to be a better Muslim. I just want to feel close to Allah." But sometimes what we actually want is the feeling of having arrived, of no longer needing to ask. And that feeling, however sincerely chased, keeps slipping away, because it was never meant to be found. You were not built for self-sufficiency. You were built for need. Sit with that word for a moment. Need, not as a flaw in your design, but as the design itself. There's an old story told in the great Persian masterwork of Sufi poetry about a Bedouin man and his wife living in genuine material hardship out in the open desert. One night the wife wept bitterly over their poverty, listing everything they lacked, comparing their tent to the homes of wealthier neighbors, her voice rising with every complaint. Her husband, a man who had thought deeply about the nature of the heart, listened without anger. Then he spoke gently. He told her that wealth, the kind she longed for, often works like a cloak. It covers a person's flaws, hides their emptiness, lets them appear whole when they are not. But poverty, the poverty of true dependence, strips that cloak away. It leaves nothing to hide behind. And in that nakedness before God, something real is finally seen. Not shame, but the soul exactly as it is, unguarded, unpretending, ready to be met. He wasn't telling her to stop wanting bread on the table. He was telling her that the poverty worth wanting isn't about the tent or the coin purse at all. It's about what happens when every prop is taken away and you're left standing plainly as someone who needs. Because here is the truth this whole tradition circles back to again and again. The being, the existence, the sufficiency, all of it belongs to Him. What belongs to you is the emptiness, not as an insult, as your actual shape. One of the great mystics of Andalusia put it this way, that God never stops being full of being, and you never stop being, in your very nature, empty, needing to be filled from outside yourself. This is not a flaw to fix. It is the doorway. Think of it like this, not as a cup that's broken, but as a cup that was never meant to hold its own water. A cup doesn't fail by being empty. It succeeds by being filled over and over by a source outside itself. You have spent so much energy trying to seal the cup, trying to make it self-filling, and it was never going to work, because that was never its design. The relief isn't in becoming a fuller container by your own effort. The relief is in finally holding the cup out. Listen, just for a moment. Stop scrolling forward through what I'm saying, and just notice, has anyone ever told you that your neediness is not the problem? That it might, in fact, be the most honest thing about you? This is what the masters called annihilation in Allah. Not the erasing of who you are, but the erasing of the illusion that you were ever standing alone. One teacher described it as a state where nothing remains within a person's being except Allah. Not because the self is destroyed, but because it finally stops pretending to be its own source. This sounds abstract until you feel it in an ordinary moment. The instant after you've exhausted every plan, every effort, every attempt to fix something on your own, and you finally say the words you should have said first, I can't do this without you. That collapse is not defeat. It is the exact shape of faqr. So what does this mean for you tonight, in the very room you're sitting in? Let's make it small and doable, because the deepest truths are usually carried in small gestures repeated with sincerity. Tonight, before you put the phone down, try saying 2 of Allah's names slowly, not as a formula, but as an address. Say Ya Ghani, you who are self-sufficient, you who need nothing from me, and feel the relief of not having to be the source of your own richness. Then say Ya Samad, the everlasting, the one everything else depends on, and let that dependence settle in your chest instead of fighting it. You don't need 40 days. You need 30 seconds of meaning it. Somewhere in your week, take 5 quiet minutes, muraqabah, the old word for watchful presence, and simply sit, no requests, no list, just attention turned toward the one who is already turned toward you. When a stray thought pulls at you, don't fight it, just return, gently, the way you'd guide a child back to the table without scolding them. And once a day, ask yourself one honest question before you sleep. Where did my heart actually live today? With him or with the things I was chasing? This is muhasabah, the quiet accounting the early Muslims kept, not to punish themselves, but to notice kindly where their attention had wandered. There is a woman worth remembering here, a woman named Rabia, born into poverty so severe she was later sold into slavery. One night her owner passed by her room and saw her in prayer, forehead pressed to the ground, and above her head, impossibly, a lamp burning with no chain holding it, lighting the entire room from nowhere. He freed her the next morning. Whatever wealth the world had denied her, something else had clearly already filled the space. Rabia would later pray a strange and fierce prayer. She asked God to burn her in the fire if she worshipped him from fear of it, and to bar her from paradise if she worshipped him for its reward. But if she loved him for himself alone, to never hide his face from her. That is faqr wearing its boldest form, worship with nothing left to gain, because gain was never the point. And there is a teaching, simple enough to carry in your pocket, from a man who led with wisdom in difficult times. He said to live in this world the way a boat lives on water. The boat is fine as long as the water stays outside it. It sinks the moment the water gets in. You are allowed to have a full life, a career, a family, a bank account with real numbers in it. The boat can sail, just don't let it live inside you. Don't let the water in. Here is the truth you are checking your phone for without knowing it. You are not poor because something is missing in your life. You are poor in the oldest, truest sense, because that is what every created thing has always been in front of its creator. This isn't a diagnosis, it's a description of every soul that has ever lived, including the ones you envy. The Quran says it plainly in Surah Fatir, O mankind, you are the ones in need of Allah, while He is the one free of need, the praiseworthy. Read that again, slowly. It doesn't say some of you are needy. It says all of you, always, everyone. And it says this not as an accusation, but almost as a relief, as if to say, stop pretending otherwise, and let me be enough. You were never meant to close that gap on your own. You were meant to bring it to Him, open, honest, unfilled, and let it be met, not halfway, fully. That number on your screen, the one you checked twice tonight, it was never going to answer the question you were really asking, but the question itself, brought honestly before your Lord, already has its answer waiting. You are needy. He is near. That is not a wound. That is the whole relationship. So carry 3 things with you tonight. Carry the knowledge that your need is not a failure but your design. Carry the small daily habit of naming your dependence out loud, even in 30 seconds, even half asleep, and carry the boat and the water. Let the world stay outside you, however full your life becomes. Let this be your prayer tonight, however you say it in your own words. O you who need nothing, and to whom everything returns, take this emptiness I've been ashamed of, and let it be the very space where you dwell. Make my poverty the doorway, not the wall. And when I forget and reach again for the things that were never going to fill me, bring me back gently, the way you always have. Before you sleep, ask yourself just this: not what you're missing, but who you were quietly asking to fill it. And if your heart is still awake, there is another door we can open together. It's waiting right here, whenever you're ready. You were never poor. You were simply, finally, home.